It's just one drop. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 110 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and first of all, unfortunately, I'm not capable of counting. I've seen that during editing, I kept on saying the wrong episode at the end of the previous episodes. I'm very sorry. At least the first one was correct, but yeah, forgive me for that. Having said that, I would like to have it a bit of a more free episode. It would not really be so structured, but because I want to talk of a concept that is a bit more generic and it's affecting myself, especially right now. But maybe it's also happening to you. And I'd like to acknowledge that, so maybe you can also realize on it what is happening to you. Before we start, if you like the concept, if you like the idea of the Shower Podcast and want to support me until the end of this journey, leaving a like and subscribing to the channel means a lot. As I say many times, the way is still very long. I still have more than 200 episodes to record. By having your support, it makes it a bit easier. As always, I'm doing it for myself, but seeing validation, it's always a plus. Having said that, let's discuss about the topic of today. Why do I say that it's just a drop? It happened to me now that, given that I had to leave for my vacations, to Easter vacations, I had to go back to Rome. And by doing so, I had to prepare some of the episodes in advance. And in order to do that, given that, unfortunately, I still also have a job and I have to work during the day and I had other chores to do, I had to binge record some of the episodes. And overall, I feel like the result was still okay. I mean, personally, I don't believe that there is an issue necessarily in the things that I'm saying, but I notice a pattern. Specifically, what I just said. I believe that there is no difference, yet when analyzing afterwards, I see things that usually don't happen. The example that I made at the start of the episode was not a coincidence. The fact that by the end of the episodes, I mix and I do a mistake in numbering, the end of the episode. It's something that happens usually when I'm a bit tired, when I'm a bit overwhelmed, or overall where my mental capacity has reached a limit. Very similar to what we discussed in the last few episodes with System 1 and System 2. Usually, when I'm rested and when I'm fully focused on the episode, it's very easy to remember the number from one end to the other. So as it is today, 110. It also makes it easier because it's, let's say, a more round and easy number. But it happens that, again, if I'm overwhelmed, if I'm tired, if I'm put in a condition where my competence is not really top-notch, well, at that point, I will start making these silly mistakes. The crazy part, and the thing that fascinates me, is that in the moment, we are not able to recognize these things. And this goes beyond my episode numbering. It can become very serious. I will present to you a generic example, but something that happened to me. And I was actually discussing this with a friend tonight. When you look back to some of the things that you did, some of the things that you said, and let's say overall actions that you took in the past, it happens that sometimes you're like, how is it possible that I thought like that? How is it possible, knowing the things that I know today and considering that I see myself not too distant from that person, I was able to tolerate certain things, I was able to act in a certain way. And it comes back to the concept that I told you at the start of the episode. It's not just one drop, because it's one drop after the other. And at some point, all those small actions, all those small things that accumulate, build something. The thing is that this concept, this object, this feeling is hidden. It's not something that we deliberately did. Unless you have amnesia, it's not that common for you to forget stuff or to forget that you decided to do something. And those are, again, your deliberate actions, the things that you actually decide upon. Today's episode is based quite a bit on, let's say, the discussion that we had about System 1 and System 2. If you haven't heard that, again, I really, really recommend it to go and see it. It should be episode 106 or 107. I will leave it in the description anyway. But as I was saying, you, by accumulating those things, by leaving them there, you make System 1 act upon those things, upon this knowledge that is just around you, so it just picks it and uses it. Whereas when you do something consciously, when you actually decided to do something, that goes to System 2. And usually System 2 is almost always right, or at least, poses a question. It's like, if he doesn't recognize something or it doesn't sound right, he's like, knocks at your door. He's like, hey, this is not right. Are you sure you want to do this? Whereas System 1 just sees it, uses it, and goes with it, doesn't question it. And it's scary. It's scary because there is this duality between your perception of reality, the things that you think you are, the conditions and the ideas upon which you base your actions. And on the other hand, there is the actual reality, the things that are happening, the things that when you will look back into the future, you will be able to tell, was it actually something that I meant to do? Or was it something that was just based on the perception of reality that I had? It's very hard to distinguish in the moment, but overall, if there is one thing that you can take from this discussion and the idea of this duality, is that the more you will rely on actions that, and here I want to be very, very clear, it's not about choosing deliberate actions in the sense of planning. I want to do this, I want to meet this person, I want to do that, I want to follow this, I have this project. It's not deliberate actions. Or again, it's not planned actions, sorry. It's deliberate actions in the sense of things that you wanted to do. Because if you really wanted to do something, and not based on your perception of reality or on your perception, your projection upon something, but actually on yourself, on the values that you have, on the foundational things that define you, well, looking back after years, you will not be questioning those. And even though in the moment they might feel scary, because again, they were not planned, they were not things that you wanted to do, I can guarantee you that you will look back and you will be like, I was right. And those things actually rewarded me. And were able to create situations that I was not expecting. But the only reason that they worked is that they were based on foundational ideas that make you, you. So anytime that you're in doubt, anytime that you try to do something that you're not so sure, try to check this. Is it something that I planned? No. Is it something that I want? Well, not really. Then maybe it's better to either skip it completely or take a moment, give it to System 2, wait for 1 to 2 business days, wait for a response, and then go for it. Having said that, that was enough for today. I don't want to overwhelm you as well. This was episode 110. This time I've remembered. Thank you very much for listening. If you like the concept, if you like the topic of today, feel free to leave a like and also a subscribe. And until the next one, stay consistent, stay resilient, and see you at the next one.